Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khush Amdeed. Ji ayanu. Goedemorgen.
Pakhair agale, ni hao, chuna shumme, washmale, ohaya gazaimis, guten morgen. Hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifahal. Hale shumachatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucha, gracias. And a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing, the very stunning, the very fabulous Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, today the day is Tuesday and it's raining in Islamabad and it just started to rain.
It's so beautiful outside. The mountains, the clouds, they're all grey and it's just so pretty to look at.
Well, I have a very different opinion on that too as well because it was raining earlier, I think yesterday as well and 2 days ago too as well. So, you know, too much of rain is very hard to handle.
No, but after this, I think we're sort of getting into the summer vibe as well. So these are some of the very last winter rains that we are enjoying over here.
Yeah, and I think that we have had enough of winters too as well because yesterday I was in conversation with my mom and I was telling her that, you know, for how long can we actually, you know, adopt to the changes of the weather? And then she was like, you know, so you should always be thankful because it's going to be summers again.
Right.
I was like, I so want summers again because I want to wear shorts. You know, it's been long I haven't worn shorts.
I know, right? And speaking of shorts, I think you have a gym story to share with us.
Yeah, I have a very amazing gym story to share with you guys. I hope my father's not watching today, because usually he does. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think when I was probably, 20 years old, and I used to go to the gym. So, what I did was that my form wasn't right, and I was doing deadlifts. So, one way or the other, I had a disc prolapse as well, which was very painful. And, you know, the sole reason of having that problem with me was that I actually kind of was in competition with my trainer, and he was doing 140 kgs deadlift.
Wow.
I tried it at 120 without a belt. The last thing you know is your back's gone. So the next 6 years were full of misery. I couldn't walk properly. My posture wasn't right and everything. So I actually had to travel abroad, get my operation done, and then come back. And then obviously, you know, there's this process where you get better. So, you know, it took me a lot of time to get back to the gym. And yesterday, what happened was that I thought that, you know, my form was right. I was doing great. I was 5 months down the line that I was going to the gym continuously.
Successful, mashallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And I thought that my core is going to be fine. So I actually tried 120 kg squat. I did it thrice. And the guy who was actually supposed to spot me thought that, you know, I'm just pumping it no matter what happens. But I thought that, you know, there was this minute kind of, I don't know what the right or the correct word may be, but I think that, you know, I lost my form just because of the fact that I was wearing a belt, I was relying on it quite a lot, and now it hurts. So yeah, everybody who's out there, please don't get pumped by, you know, people saying, oh, you can do that, you can do that. You should always know what you're capable of.
Exactly.
I was capable of it, but I think my back wasn't.
I know, so I think you just need to be careful, and especially for all the people, for all the guys who go out to gym. I mean, it's great you have a motivation. It's great you should keep up on that. But be very careful of what you're doing to your body.
And one more thing, Shiza, which I wanted to say, that is that, ladies and gentlemen, I know that, you know, this show is actually everything for me. It is life for me. It is love for me, and it is such an essence which has evolved in my life in a way where it tells me to get up every day, dress up, and be right in front of you people, so that I open up my windows of positivity and energy to all of you guys. But this positivity and energy won't go anywhere because I'll be off from tomorrow onwards till the 27th of March as well. I have to travel abroad for a few shows and then for a few checkups too as well. I mean, that's what it is. But Ahmed is actually going to replace me for that particular period of time. So please make sure that you support him too as well. And Shiza, yes, Shiza, so you finally decided to show up today.
Yeah,
wow.
Man, it's been long. But, you know, we are definitely going to miss you. We cannot wait to have you back on the show again because our energy sort of resonates and I can't wait to have that back again.
No, this is not what she wanted to say. You know, she wanted to say something else. So what was that?
Ladies and gentlemen,
no, come on. You need to be honest over here.
I really don't know what you're referring to. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so since you know, spoke about positivity, I think I always mention it to all of you that you need to be surrounded by people who make you happy. And speaking of people who make you happy, I think anyone who brings me food makes me happy.
Okay, yeah, I think that's great. And if the food is for free, I think that's something which makes me happy too as well. But I think that's correct, you know, because over here in Pakistan, I'm sorry, but this is a dilemma, ladies and gentlemen, that for everybody, you know, because I've had a life which was very rough, and I was kind of very rowdy type of a boy. So I was indulged in always different sort of activities which might not be very appropriate for public too as well. But then eventually when I realized that, I need to mature up and whatnot, I think that the only entertainment I was left with was having food. And I'm a big foodie myself, if, for example, if you've gotten a chance to see me in person, I'm a huge guy and I eat almost every time of the day, so this is something which makes me happy. But then the people who actually make that food is something which I would always want to be surrounded by.
Exactly.
Because, they come up with these amazing ideas. For example, it's raining, oh, let's, aao pakode banate hain, aao chips khayenge aaj.
Perfect.
So things like these, mazedar.
And also it's not about the taste anymore, it's also about how it is presented and the looks.
Yeah.
And lately on Instagram, everyone is about food pictures, food videos and whatnot. And there's this one very popular Turkish chef that I came across on Instagram.
Yes.
And I think we need to watch his work. Can we have a small clip? He's called Burak, and he makes some amazing, amazing food. I mean, it's just very brilliant and sumptuous to look at.
Yeah.
I think we do have some of his work that we need to share with you guys on our screens.
Let's do that.
But till then, I think, speaking of chefs, Gordon Ramsay makes me laugh. Not hungry, he makes me laugh.
I think I've got a different opinion about him. I think that, he's actually reached to a level where people follow him not just for what he cooks, but what kind of SH, beep, tea, he says to people. So, I think this is something which I do not really like about him.
Which is why it's sort of funny as well. But I think we're ready with the video that we were talking about of Burak, the chef from Turkey all the way. So let's have a look at this and then we begin our show.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, okay, so this is a... Okay.
Yeah, okay. So
still no video, ladies and gentlemen, but anyway, if you have Instagram on your phones, you can go find that out. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating everyone who makes food, be they restaurant chefs, are they personal chefs, stay-at-home parents, exactly,
dads.
moms, and even people who have, homemade businesses, home-based businesses, actually.
Yeah, and the videos right here, ladies and gentlemen, on your television screens. I think that's a
How does he do that? Wow.
Like.
Great rolling, man.
Great rolling.
It's just so good to look at.
Yeah, it is. But, can you guess half of the ingredients he's putting in?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're all sort of desi because he's making the masala that we make.
No, I think that you're only saying it because he's from Turkey.
Yeah, that is, but also there's chawal and stuff, so...
Okay, this is one thing which I want to ask you. Do you think that people in Turkey actually eat turkey? Come on, tell me.
If this was a joke,
come on, no, it wasn't really a joke. I'm asking you a question.
Everyone across the world eats turkey.
No, but in Turkey, ladies and gentlemen, people do not eat turkey, they eat chicken.
Is it a hard and fast rule?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know that. Well, I
Because I watched
something.
the film last night, and the name of the film was Portal, and there were a lot of kids who were actually asking an assassin who has actually been all over the world whether there are people who eat turkey in Turkey. So he said no.
Oh my God, is that cheese that he's pulling off? Wow, this is brilliant.
Okay, so she's not focusing on what I'm asking.
No, I'm genuinely very much.
Okay, so I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I know that he's doing his tricky business, but we'll come back to that once he's ready.
Okay.
So the question is, okay, so this is December asking you, what is unique in December other than all the other months?
It starts with a D, it has a D.
Well, what do you mean by it has a D?
The alphabet D in the name, of course.
So then what is different from all the other months?
The spell, dude, this, okay, genuinely.
Yeah, that's correct though, but she's half correct. She's 50% correct because this is the only month which starts with the letter D, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what I almost said, but I think he's ready with the food and it definitely looks delicious. It's something with the pickles.
It doesn't look delicious at
all. It does, genuinely does.
I mean, that pile he made, I don't know.
Well, I think we have different opinions.
Well,
and
but
I would
what
totally
is that?
dig
that? That green thing, what is that?
I think it was some sort of pickles or something.
Because
I think we have, ladies and gentlemen, some very apt guests over here in the studio that we need to introduce. And we will ask them what the green things were. I say they were pickles, but let's find out.
They were pickles. So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we're very glad, we're very positive about the fact that, Marriott actually allows their employees to join us on our show. And one of our very amazing hosts, ladies and gentlemen, she happens to work at Marriott too as well. She's been moving a lot. And she goes from one 5-star to another 5-star. Whenever you call her for a favor, she does not really accept that as well.
She's there in the studio right
But
now.
we're very happy that, you know, she's managed to bring them on the show too as well. He's been on the show earlier too. He's actually given us a lot of chocolates too as well. These days, you know, this hotel is specifically promoting quite a lot of chocolates too. So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually been joined by a chef. He's none other than Mr. Thomas Figovic. Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. And alongside Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody. Well, you know, this was very different. And it was a very different experience for me because I myself happen to be a Rajput, even though I do not believe in all of these different segments within the society. But then at the same time, you know, when I read his name, it was Raja Gayur Abbas. So, you know, you do not really expect somebody with the name Raja to be a chef, but why not? You know, so here he is, Raja Gayur Abbas. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. So today we decided to celebrate you people because half of the time whenever there is something very important, there is a festivity, you know, for example, if it's a family gathering, all we do is decide which hotel to go to, and wherever you go, you know, it's the chef which makes it, I think, better for everybody because it all depends on the type of food you eat. So what do you have to say, first of all, about you being a chef?
No, I think what you say is wonderful. I think over the last 20 years, the profession of a chef had evolution.
Right.
You have pointed out several things. I think the first evolution was in Europe when the chefs went out with the fashion models, with the politician.
Right.
And it started in France. And then from there on, we evolve. Today you have everywhere show kitchen, people want to talk to the chefs. We do cooking class, it's very popular. When we limit to spaces to 20, we have 50 bookings. So people want to be in food. The other element we have discussed now is Instagram, is the internet. There is a trend, what we also need to manage. What for us as the professional, we have the challenge to deal with the expectation. Today people show you a picture, this is what I want. Then you try to make something, it don't look like this. But we need to be all fair and realistic. And we should not forget the core value of food. And I think the subject is also, is presentation only important or is also the taste important?
Exactly, and that was my question from Raja Saab as well. So Raja Saab, half of the time whenever you have a festival at your place or wherever you're going, you know, you go see a chef and you're like, okay, you know, this is something which I want you to make for me. Now, half of the time, I think women these days really are not into cooking. I'm not against it. I think if they're working, that's superb too as well. A lot of women over here in the studios.
No, but I support that. I
Yeah,
don't like cooking.
So, you know, everybody's working, so that's good. So, you know, you leave the job at the professional's hand.
Right.
So what happens is that half of the time, the picture we've given, the result, the actual product might not look like the way it was supposed to be in the picture, but then it tastes greater than or whatever we might have tasted. So what is more important? Is it that it actually needs to replicate the piece in the picture, or the taste needs to be great?
First of all, thank you so much.
No problem.
That
I like
we
your
are
smile.
with you. I would tell you about the Raja family actually.
Yeah.
In my family, I'm the one only who is cooking.
Wow, that's
Okay.
right.
And in this profession.
Wow, that's
actually.
cool. That's cool.
And I've been working, I think 12 years already now.
Wow.
12 to 13 years I work in UAE.
Yeah.
This is my first chance.
And
to
our
work
stories
in
are so similar because I'm the only one working on television in my family as
Same
well
here, man.
for the last 10, 11 years. And they do not like me quite a lot, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even in my family, nobody
likes
maybe nobody likes that
No,
I'm
but
a
you
chef.
mentioned that you started this almost 12 years ago. So how did you start? Were you ever a personal chef, or were you always cooking for a huge number of people?
I was in Dubai,
Okay.
and I started from there training, and then I got a job there. So I work in different properties there.
Yeah.
From there, so I learned many things.
No, but why would anybody want to be a chef? I mean, there's so much of work. I mean, obviously, once you reach a level, for example, right now,
Yeah.
you know, you have people to cut you, you know, all types of vegetables and fruits and whatnot. But initially, when you're training yourself, you know, cutting an onion and crying at the same time, I mean, who wants that job? Nobody wants the job, right?
But
No,
you guys enjoy that.
it's like it's a passion. Cooking is a passion.
Okay.
Okay.
If you like to cook, I mean, I love.
I mean,
love
I
my
want
job.
to do something for the rest of my life which stays. You know, you cook and then for an hour it's on the table and then it's gone. So nobody knows what happened last night as well. You know, so something of that sort. Yeah.
But then you will wait for the next
Yeah.
dish
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
right.
And this is our art. Our art is not even an hour. You know, you put the plate forward. Let's say you cook a 5-course menu. You put the appetizer forward, the main course. You make the last touches. It looks great. Some people these days take pictures.
Right.
You focus on your job to get the next course out. But it's an art for 3-4 minutes. We just have it there 3-4 minutes. Then comes a waiter sometimes. And
Hungry person
your
cooking.
art already goes in wobbly hands and you get very worried. But this is part of the art.
Yeah.
I like
Right.
that you say chefs have work. Yes, we have always work. Even it doesn't matter what level you reach,
Right.
you're just there. Now it's a kind of lifestyle it has become. We work in the hotel, we go in the morning, we go in the evening, we are dealing with so many things. But it's our life and it has become our passion.
And I'm
Yeah,
going to
and
tell you
since you-
something very interesting,
Okay.
Thomas. From the next time, if Shiza says, that means that she's holding a question, okay? so Shiza, go ahead, ask your
Okay,
question.
so I have, well, a lot of questions. But to begin with, you know, when people like us or anyone in the world needs to take a day off or vacation or something, we sort of want to try out new dishes and, you know, invest our time in something fun. But for people who are already, you know, making dishes every day, every hour of the day, what do you guys do on your vacations? How do you guys celebrate your free time?
Actually, you know, I think the trend is going into experiences. I also like to have food experience.
Okay.
Like you like to go to 5-star hotel.
Right.
I like to go somewhere in the village and have a little fish, what they barbecue or cook a karai dish. I go very down to earth when I'm here in Pakistan.
And get food poisoning after a while?
No, I think when
Hopefully
you
not.
eat fresh meat from the grill, you don't get poisoning. For sure, we know where a risk. I will not eat salads somewhere in the province where I don't know it's coming from. But if you're out and they cook a meat dish like in the north and just put salt and put it in a pot for 6 hours and then you eat it, I think it's lovely. And I like also the street food experiences. But for us, it's not the 5-star, it's the down-to-earth experiences.
All right.
Okay. But
It's
okay,
like
since
stars
you
on
both-
the earth, right? You know, stars on the earth. That's how it is. I'm
You
sorry
both
that
have worked
I actually
outside-
had to probably translate it from Urdu to English, but people actually understood what I meant.
We got it. But since you both have worked across Pakistan as well, do you feel like there's a change in the attitude of the customers? I mean, which ones, you know, Pakistanis or maybe other people are more into food, or they have different demands or demands that you can't cope up with?
Yeah.
I will speak first, but yesterday I had some discussion and I feel we're only at the beginning. I think it's coming, but I even expect more things. Yesterday we had some discussion how we do the weddings next year. And I was in Lebanon and there was always the set menu.
Okay, okay.
But here we are in buffet style. So, and then in Lebanon there were also people coming back from outside. They want to have mixed Lebanese, French food
Okay.
on the set menu. So I think in the future, what people should try is new things.
Right.
Also, in weddings, they should do sometimes set menu. I don't know why nobody likes set menu here.
Because it gets boring, right?
No, but you sit down and they serve you, and it's not the fight on the buffet anymore and everything. I think it is a nice experience. So my wish for Pakistan, make weddings in set menu.
Okay, okay, perfect. What about you? You've worked with different sort of, you know, clients, customers?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
People who eat a lot of food.
Yeah, so what about their attitude? I mean, is it different?
Yeah, many differences between the international
Customers?
people there,
okay.
customers, and in Pakistan. But I have seen here in Pakistan, people they eat a lot.
We
That's
love
what
to eat,
that's what I
absolutely.
can tell.
And you know,
I
since
had experience here in Islamabad,
please
Marriott.
go on.
The people they eat.
Yeah, they eat and they eat
They
a lot.
love to
Okay,
eat.
so now I've got a very interesting question to ask, and this is something which happened to me. So I was.
But before that,
Yeah, go
I have
ahead.
a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, there's this thing of presentation lately, we've been discussing it. So when we're talking about, you know, appetizers or the initial entrees, they're very small amount, probably 1 or 2 bites, with a lot of decoration, which annoys me because I want a lot of food, you know, a big bite, but they're just probably 1 or 2 small bites. Is that not annoying for you?
Okay, so you know, Shiza, I think I'm sorry that I'll have to roast you over here.
Okay.
But you know what happens is that you actually need to know, you know, how many courses are going to be there as well, and then you obviously have to, you know,
hold back probably
hold
in the
back a little as
beginning.
well. And you know, for all of those decorations, those are edible too as well. So you
I
know,
get it,
probably
but
if you
they're
want
so
a bigger
small.
bite, just put everything in your mouth.
Everything.
You know,
That's
all of
what
a
I
sudden.
do.
But now the most interesting, ladies and gentlemen, story of my life, and that is that we were actually shooting for China's national television, and the program was supposed to be on air on PTV here, and then China television over there in China too as well. So it was a group of 60 Chinese people. They were somewhere near Abbottabad, and you know they were all engineers, and we were supposed to go over there, and we contacted a Chinese restaurant, and I don't know whether I should name them or not because it's a horrible experience.
Oh, don't.
Oops.
Yes, so what we did was
Save
that we
them.
actually hired their chef to come with us and cook Chinese food for all of those people, and then you know we're going to shoot.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, the moment the food was ready and you know we were shooting and everything and people were sitting down on the table, so as soon as the Chinese people started eating, you know, first spoon in the mouth, it was the first thing out as well. Poo, 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 poo. And I was like, well, what's happening? And then they were like, it's not even Chinese food. So, you know, this is a question for the chef over here. Do you really have to adapt to the nature of our taste and then make things, or do you just do it universally? I mean, whatever is the universal recipe, you'll cook it. You want to eat it, eat. You don't want to eat it, don't eat.
Good question.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. And,
I think I'm known for that.
you need you need to see in which field you operate. Now, on the end, every business need to pay salaries. They need to make a profit.
Okay.
You can be the biggest artist if you're not on the end have a business, then it's difficult. So we always need to cook food what we can sell, what the customer like, and the customer is always king.
Yeah.
We should try to stay on the original recipes and not mix too many things. I think one of the bad things in the moment is that too many things get mixed up. And we call it then fusion, but I call it only confusion.
Okay.
And even with the decoration and everything, you know, I mean, good food will always have its place. If somebody want to be the big foam and the big oil and the big burl, that is nice decoration and good to have. But on the end, people want to have good food.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, but
No,
here
no,
is-
there was one more thing. So
Okay.
these days, you know, chefs have a lot of signature moves as well. You know, we see them on
or the
internet,
Salt
you know.
Bay.
Yeah, you know, things like these, or, you know, chop in and whatnot. Do you have a signature move, or have you ever experienced something which we would like to call a kitchen fail? You know, something wasn't working, something fell down, you know,
It
something.
worked in your head, but in real it wasn't working at all.
Yeah, when you start your career, you have a lot of failure.
Okay.
But now I make concepts, food concepts, what we eat, how we eat, and how we do. And then I go in the kitchen and make. But what is on the office and what is in the kitchen, it's always different.
Okay.
Even now, after 30 years of experience, it's still so difficult. You know, and in cooking, it's not the big things. It's not that in a small restaurant, in a five-star hotel, the difference is so big, but it's all these small details. Over the years, what I have learned when I work in very good places, they also just cook with water.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, an egg is an egg, a meat is a meat, a water is a water.
Right.
But it's all the little detail what make a big experience. And that's why it's so difficult when you talk about 3-star Michelin or the top restaurants. It's not big things what make a difference. You go there, you will eat, and it's all the little detail what make a difference.
Exactly. But Raja Kayur, when Shahzad was asking the question about kitchen fails and kitchen disasters, you were smiling. I'm pretty sure you have a story to share, so please go on.
Go ahead.
No, actually, there's a lot of stories, funny stories, but in Pakistan, like chef, sometimes he used to cook, like if we have embassy events, and when he start to cook something, obviously the heat's on and it's heat's on also.
So he has an attitude to keep up in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
that's-
And you know, there's this sort of a myth, I'm not really sure, but
heat
chefs
is
are
on.
known for screaming in the kitchen. Screaming a lot. I mean,
mean,
the moment you open a kitchen
That's-
door of a
that's-
restaurant.
You don't even have to talk about
That's
chefs.
normal in chef field. It's a normal.
I think
It's
everybody in the
normal.
everybody in the kitchen shouts. You know, this is something which I've realized. But you know, since we are talking about kitchen fails, we have a small video to share. But there's only one thing which I want to know. For example, you know, when you go to see a doctor, and if you're getting a surgery done, there are cases people have actually left, you know, probably a fork or a knife in the human body or a
Yes.
towel. Have you ever left a fork or a knife in a cake or something of that sort? You know, because things like these do happen.
maybe you're
No,
watch.
but one time I was working and the waiter come and the knife fell down and it got stuck in the shoe of the waiter.
Wow.
So we had to bring him to hospital and remove
dear
it. But this is Murphy's law, you know. Exactly, the knife fell down and stuck.
That's almost dramatic. I mean, we see it in movies, but it happened in real life as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this small funny clip for all of you guys. It's about kitchen disasters. Let's take a look.
Let's do it. Good morning.
Whenever
Yeah,
we
we're
have
coming.
We're coming. Get it? This is art form, no?
It's a form of an art.
All right,
Indeed.
ladies and gentlemen, these were a few kitchen fails, but I think the only kitchen fail we get to experience over in Pakistan is not having a goal roti. You know, this is what people
And it
want
is
a lot
so
of times.
essential.
And that too from people who've actually done PhDs, MBAs, women who are actually doctors. Oh, beta goal roti nahi banani aati tumhe.
And you know, this has
Come
actually
on.
happened at my place as well. So there was this one time, Mama was not at home and not even a chef. So I had to make roti for Baba.
Yeah.
And then when I, presented it to him, he was like, "Is this India ka naksha?" You know, more or less, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there cannot make a gold roti.
Yeah.
But so since yesterday, I was speaking to my friends and I sort of mentioned that we are going to speak to chefs tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they had some fun and tricky questions for both of you.
Well, let's do that.
You know, some basic questions that I'm pretty sure Shahzad and I even want to ask the chefs, but we don't have the courage to. So here we go on behalf of all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I am doing this.
You are the scapegoats today.
Yes.
Thank God it's not me today. Yeah.
So for both of you, whoever wants to answer, how do you take revenge on an annoying customer?
Oh. Why do you have to look over there first?
Am I still in the camera?
Okay, well, you can have a funny answer. If it's too rude, you can hide it.
You know, what I really feel inside here, it would lead to this. But because we are professional, and I think that's very important,
Indeed.
to be professional. For me, if a customer come and say, I don't like this food, I just remove it. The waiter tell me, you need to try this, you need to tell the guest. I say, he don't like it.
Right.
No, try, you say it's good, and then we go back to the guest. I say, it will not work. He don't like it, so we remove it. Go back to your customer, ask him what he wants, and sometimes I go back myself.
But that's great, you're being professional, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
we need
attitude
to
we
be.
need in the kitchen, of
Yeah,
course.
but I think the sole
And you should
reason-
not be guided by all these movies, what you see, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think there is some not professional
Yeah,
chefs
this is
out
something
there.
which I'm about to ask.
But they are not here with us.
Yeah, I've witnessed that in a lot of movies and in real life too as well, that for example, if you say something bad to the chef, he might even spit in your cake. You know,
That's
please
what
don't
I've
do that.
heard, that's what I wanted
Don't
to
do
come
that,
out of them
okay?
as well.
Don't do that. And then on the other hand, people, who do not like the chef, what they do is they pluck a hair from their head and then they put it into the dish and then they're like, what did you do?
Does that
So no,
happen?
either way, it's a deuce.
No,
Did
but
that
I
ever
think
happen to
we
you?
we should be fair. First of all, whenever you are in a restaurant, don't forget you are dealing with somebody who prepares something for you. I think this act of somebody giving you food, giving you love, should be more respected.
Exactly.
You should never forget this.
Indeed.
For sure, the chef could do something bad.
Yeah.
But let's not say this is his only objective. Our only objective is to make the guest happy, to make the business run.
Yeah.
But also from the customer, there should be more love. There should be more understanding for what the person do. Many times in small restaurants, maybe the chef is not even the only one who has all the management decision in his
Right.
hand. He's there, he's a poor guy, he's trying his best, but it's not working out because maybe his stove is not working or his fridge break down or the supplier did not come. What are all normal things? And we all know this. We are here not in a perfect world. We're all dealing with these circumstances.
Of course.
Yeah.
So we should be a little bit understanding, and I think from both sides, then it will be better.
Of course. So, and what about you? How do you plan on taking revenge on your annoying customers?
No, as a professional,
You still want to
chef,
work, right?
as chef said, that we should be honest with our
Yeah.
job.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
people,
so-
Okay.
as maybe you have seen many videos, funny videos,
Yeah, yeah.
the chefs they revenge, but it's not a good.
Okay, so-
way,
So it
a
doesn't
good
happen
idea.
in real
Yeah.
life.
Okay, but what happens in real life is that, you always know whether somebody's better than you at cooking or not. So do you think that there's this jealousy factor and you'll probably steal half of the equipment the other chef's using and not make it available? This is an everyday story, ladies and gentlemen. Everywhere in the world, this is what is happening. People do not want the best to probably produce the best, or probably, you know, mother-in-laws and then daughter-in-laws too as well. This is a household story. Yeah, so does that happen?
No, what happened in our hotel is because we have, let's say, 7, 8 kitchens. Yes, the one guy steals from the other one because sometimes they're short of this equipment and that. But it's more in a teamwork. Okay, borrow me this, I give you this. But some people, they borrow a knife and then don't give back, you know.
What about you, Raza? Have you ever stolen somebody's knife?
No, I actually...
Out of jealousy?
No.
No, you haven't?
For me, if I feel like somebody is cooking better than me, I personally go and learn from him.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now I've got a very different question from what Shiza's asking.
Okay.
You know, because a lot of rich people, they do come to 5-star hotels, you know, this is because they can afford. So which nut do you think is a rich man's favorite nut?
It's a funny question.
The coconut is a giant nut. If you eat too much, you get very fat.
Coconut, Raza.
That's the kids' song.
A cashew, ladies and gentlemen, is the nut, which is definitely my favorite, even though I'm not rich. Yeah, but it's all right.
But okay, I do have another question for both of you. Again, on behalf of the public out there. So, out of all the dishes that you do create lately, which is the one that you would never try for yourself?
No, but...
something you're allergic to eating?
No, everything what I want to serve in the hotel, I also eat. I mean, there's no food that I not eat. For sure, when you go a little bit in the exotic, in the Chinese, in the Japanese, like I know here, for example, not everybody eats raw fish and sushi, but I'm a sushi lover.
Okay.
But in general, you don't know that it's the job of the executive chef to try everything.
All right.
So I'm just going around and try everything. So that's my main job. So there cannot be anything what I don't like. Okay. But we need to try the things and see if it's good or not.
So then, you know, somewhere in the middle of the day or at night, do you even have lunch or dinner?
When I arrived here in Pakistan, I had one sous chef, he bring me always this big biryani. So after 3 months here, my tummy was like this. Yeah. So I said, this cannot go on like this.
Are you a biryani fan though?
I love biryani, yes.
Okay, wow, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so now before we actually want to ask you, you know, how your early days were, when was the first compliment you got. So there's this one riddle which I'm going to ask you before we ask those questions. So what is this, the more you take, the more you leave behind?
Yeah, I think this is in hospitality absolutely true. And it also...
No, you cannot go the other way. You have to answer me.
It's sort of a
the more you take, the more you leave behind.
The more you
Footsteps.
take...
It's all right.
He said it for you.
So let's get started. So the very first compliment you've ever got at the beginning of your career, what did you make? And why do you remember that?
The first thing what I really remember, actually it was from my first executive chef, and I made lasagna. He showed me before, and the next time I made it alone. You know, you need to make a bechamel, you make the bolognese, you do the sheets and everything, and I made it. And I think a customer gives the feedback, and then this feedback come to me, and it make you fly. Yeah. Right. Then the next time you make the lasagna and it burns, so you fly, and then you still have failure again. Yeah. But this feedback is interesting, and then when you go into hospitality, when you start dealing with food, when you see all this, it's just an amazing world. Then comes the wine, then you have a cigar. There's so many things. There's chocolate, there is meat. Everything is so complex now. Everything is so global. It's an unbelievable field.
Right. And what about you?
When I was in Dubai, my chef used to come and tell me, and he used to say, Raja, you just display your buffet, and then I'll give you the numbers. Yeah. In the beginning when I've started. So he used to come every Friday. We had the brunch always on Friday in UAE especially. So he used to come and he tell me, okay, this salad was good, or this buffet, this food was not good. So he used to write in the paper and he give me number out of 10. You got 6, or you got 8.
Yeah, 6 or 8 is fine, man. I used to get like 2 or 3.
For beginners, I mean, you were doing pretty good. Yeah. But okay, I think I sort of lost the question that I was going to ask.
Well, you don't have to do that. You know, you can totally rely on me. You know,
that's what I'm doing.
The best, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm sorry, you know, that's quite a lot early in the morning. Don't do that. Okay, so I've got another question. Okay, let's see whether you're focused on to something other than cooking or not. Okay. So, you know, it comes in a minute. It comes twice in a moment, but it never comes in 1,000 years. What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You know,
He
see,
already gave up.
they only know about
How
cooking.
can I know that?
Okay, what about you, Raisa? It comes once in a minute,
Once in a minute.
twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years.
Can I tell?
No. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so it's the letter M,
Yes,
ladies
it's
and
the letter
gentlemen.
M. Come on, how can I be so lame early in the morning?
Okay,
It's
yeah,
all right.
but it's okay. You're doing good.
Yeah,
but I have a question.
Okay, you have a question?
It's sort of a question. So I do remember some, early childhood dishes that my grandmom or my mom used to make for me.
What were those dishes?
Nihari, very specifically for my nani, because she's so good at it. I mean, whenever she comes to our place, we make a lot of it and then we freeze it for months.
Wow.
Probably not for months, for days, but she was so good at it. So is there a recipe that stays with you ever since, you were a child, probably from your grandmom or your mom or anything, that you sort of build up on and improvised as well?
And you don't want to share it with anybody else?
Yeah.
First of all, our basic approach with the grandmothers, we never cook against grandmothers.
Okay,
Was,
okay. But you
one
learn
of,
from
wa- was one of the first advice my executive chef gives me.
Yeah.
So grandmothers are always the best.
Yeah.
We are nothing compared to them.
Of course.
We are professional chefs. Your grandmother, you will always love her and she will be the best chef for you.
Yeah.
No, we have good recipes and we keep them. So there are, and some of them, as you say, it's maybe from your mother or from your grandmother. It's not from a professional kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
But in general, when you get the menu or a guest request, you remember where did I cook this dish the best way. Let's say as a chef, you go around, you work in different places. So you have then 15 restaurants or hotel or 5-star deluxe. And then you say, oh, where did I make the gnocchi last time? And then you remember that place, you look at your documents and pull out this recipe.
Yeah.
So I always go back, where did this recipe is the best? And I think many places have 10 things what they do perfect or the best.
Okay, perfect. What about you? Do you have any specific recipes that stay with you and you don't want to share with anyone?
When I was in school, my grandmom, she used to make achar,
Wow.
Okay.
mango pickle.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she always called me to come and help me. So
Yeah.
Did you learn from her?
Yeah, I learned from her.
And now you're very good at making achar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pakistanis love achar, don't you?
Yeah, I love achar too as well. you
And
know.
I
don't
do
know. We have
because-
got some different remedies to do with achar. I don't know whether there's any scientific reason behind that or not. I mean, if a lady's pregnant, she should have pickles. I mean, why, yaar? Come on, ask the doctor, ask scientist, somebody. Achar khao bete, theek ho jao.
Exactly.
You know, so I don't know. You know, I don't mind having anything because I'm a foodie. I think that every different thing which you eat has got a different flavor, and you obviously have to probably spoil your taste buds for a while too as well. But keep a palate cleanser with you. You know, you never know. You know what you're jumping from one to another as well. But now this is one thing which is very common in Pakistan. I've witnessed it in between my sisters too as well. If one of my sister cooks something very amazing, she's not going to share the recipe with the rest of my sisters. And if one of my sisters is actually wearing a dress which is actually owned by my other sister as well, so they're not going to wear it on the same day. You know, I don't know why this sibling rivalry is going on.
It's a hard and
But
fast
you
rule.
know-
It's unspoken but understood.
Exactly. And as a profession, for example, when we are on television, you know, half of the things I say, she might want to say, or I might want to say, but we're not going to give it away before the show, you know. So when we speak, we speak. So that's adaptability too. So for chefs, well, what kind of a fierce competition is that? Because the competition needs to be there. I mean, if you're evolving, if you're developing your skill set, I think that the competition needs to be real. So do you actually, as an executive chef, believe in sharing your recipes, or you want people to come up with their own recipes and then you get to taste it?
No, I think what is happening now, first of all, nobody is inventing so many new things. Everybody is just stealing,
Yeah,
and
but there are
make with
secret
three.
ingredients, right?
Here in my pocket now. First of all, the difference is in the approach. In Pakistan, you have people, they call them master chef, then they have here recipes and they don't teach anybody. I think that's not very good. We should all share. In Europe, in cooking, in French cooking, we have the Escoffier. Escoffier was the first one who wrote a very big book. So whenever we have a technical discussion about how food should be cooked, should there be used tomato, should they use bell pepper, we go back to this book. This book is the golden book
It's
for
the
the
basics.
chefs. So in the French classical cooking, we have less differences.
Okay.
Now when we talk about the nihari and which spices come, I think we can do 1,000 discussion. But I think there's the role of the hotel very important, that we standardize recipe, and in the Hasho group we can standardize over the country. And I think this is going on where we can help to standardize. If you have your own very special then ingredient, so be it. But in general, we should have understanding what is a nahari, what is a karai. These basic dishes should be a little bit standardized.
Yeah.
So when also it's good for our Pakistani cuisine when people come and say, wherever I go in Pakistan, we have the karai and it's made with tomato.
Yeah.
Because in the group now we have some discussions, because some say in karai there's no tomato, the more you go into the north.
Yeah.
But in general, for Pakistan, in Karai, we should have a kind of common understanding.
Right.
Exactly. Because we like a lot of gravy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
that's why I think the tomato needs to be there. I don't know. I'm not even a chef, but I'm just guessing.
But we love the taste of
Okay,
it.
but since, you know, it has been a hot topic too as well, do you think that yogurt can actually replace tomatoes
Is that
while
a
cooking?
thing?
While cooking. Can we do that?
We have this discussion a lot, and the hard part is then we have our standard recipe with tomato, and some people say you should make it with yogurt. So I try to stay in our standard.
And
So
which one do you
so you want to
prefer?
use tomatoes?
I will go for tomatoes.
You will go for
Okay,
tomatoes too
perfect.
as well. So, but you know, they're saying that they might stop our tomato import. So probably you'll only be left with yogurts to cook with. That will be the last option if God forbid
So we
that
need to
happens.
talk to the country, produce tomato, make tomatoes.
Tomato,
Tomatoes.
Send
That's what we
in.
want.
Yeah.
Okay, but very quickly towards the end, you know, we see a lot of new restaurants opening up. We see a lot of new hotels opening up in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. But then at the same time, we see that, you know, a restaurant opened up 4 months down the line, it shuts down. Because they are trying, or they're making it to look very fancy. I think that they're struggling very hard to make it look very fancy. But then what they forget is that it's actually the food of the restaurant which sells a lot.
Right.
So where do you think that most of the new people who are actually opening up restaurants are getting it wrong? Do you think that, you know, their menus are not correct? How to design a menu? Some quick tips for people who are out there.
Last time I had some discussion because some people ask what you think, why is this and this happening? I think if only the decoration is good and the food is not good, then after 4 months, nobody will come.
Yeah.
General advice, let's say you have 50 dishes and they are all average or not good. But let's say you have 3 dishes what are perfect. In which restaurant you think the customer will go back?
Yeah, I think where the dishes.
You see, at the beginning, choice is good, but when it's not good, it's not good. So it must be good. Make less and make it perfect. Make one dish, make it perfect. Your restaurant will be full.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you so
don't need
much
to
for
make
saying
anything
that.
else.
Of course, you know that matters. Just yesterday, I was trying out a new place in F7. I don't want to name it, and it absolutely sucked. It was so bad, man. I ordered tarragon chicken, and it was nothing like tarragon chicken. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you need to know what this place was, message me. I'll tell you what it was.
You don't need to know
But
that.
if there's anything you need to add to our conversation, please write to us.
No, I had to say something.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
okay.
sorry.
So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up the show too as well, please make sure that you take out time whenever you go to such restaurants or places where you eat the food or the kind of food you wanted. So please, you know, go greet the chef. I think they'll feel great, and the next time they're going to make it better for you. And one more thing, and that is that for all those, who happen to be my friends and who've actually opened up their restaurants, there was this one last bad experience which I had, and that was that one of my friend opened up a restaurant, wanted me to be there, put up a status, I did, and one of our news anchors, she's over here in the studios, you know, she said the next day that, you know, I read your status, went there, had a coffee, and it was horrible. So I'm not posting anybody's restaurant's pictures, and I'm not recommending till the time I've had it myself. So if there's anything you want to share with us, write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Dailymotion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
This fabulous repeat is going to be at
5 past 11 p.m.
tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Thank you.